Hi guys, and thanks for watching our weather update on April 11th, 2023. So today, we're going through the weather warnings from Met.ie for the spell of very strong winds that are coming up today, tonight and tomorrow. And we'll look at the current cloud cover and radar on wind.com, as well as the charts for the next 2 or 3 weeks on weather.de. So at this stage, we're seeing a spell of very wet and very windy weather across the country with some yellow wind warnings in place. Last week, we were looking at the potential for a very severe storm tonight. However, that risk has diminished slightly. However, there's still the chances of some disruption. So we'll start with the warnings from Met.ie. And you see for today, we have a yellow wind warning for Carlow, Dublin, Kildare, Kilkenny, Louth, Meath, Wexford, Wicklow, Cork and Waterford, so basically the east and south of the country. And this is for a short spell of very strong southerly winds veering westerly, and there is the potential for some disruption, valid from 3 p.m. today till 9 p.m, so 6 hours. That warning will last, and then that warning will last for 6 hours, and then Wednesday's warnings, if it loads. There we go, so we got 2 warnings, but they both cover different parts. Obviously, they both cover different areas of the country. But if you combine those 2 warnings together, the whole country is under a warning. So, firstly, we have a wind warning for Clare, Cork, Kerry, Limerick, Galway, Mayo. So just the western side of the country here, down into the southwest. It is for strong winds from the northwest, between gusts of 90 to 100 km/h, possibly stronger in coastal areas and over high grounds, as well as some coastal flooding caused by wave overtopping, valid from 1 a.m. tomorrow morning, and then up till 5 p.m. tomorrow evening. That's about, I think, so it's 12 plus 4, 16 hours, or 17 minus 1 is 16, so that lasts for 16 hours, and then we have a wind warning for the rest of the country, so that's Leinster, Cavan, Donegal, Monaghan, so that's Ulster, Leitrim, Roscommon, Sligo, Tipperary, and Waterford. That would be, I think, east and north Connacht and into East Munster. So that's for very strong northwest winds developing, gust of 90 to 100 km/h expected, stronger in exposed areas, valid from 8 a.m. tomorrow to 8 p.m. tomorrow, so that's a nice 12-hour slot of warning time. Now, those are warnings, so do make sure you stay safe in these winds, even though we're only seeing yellow wind warnings. They can still be disruptive if you're exposed to the winds, etc. Leave extra time for journeys on roads, especially if you're driving along the coast, etc. It can be very, very windy, and added to that, very wet as well. A lot of spray and surface water and rain, heavy rain, driving rain, etc. So do be careful out there. Now, looking at windy.com, you can see very nicely that this is the little isolated low pressure here, but quite severe, moving up from the southwest into the south today, later on today, and we're really seeing wind gusts gusting to around 50 knots an hour. I think that's 50 knots an hour. I'm not sure of the kmh translation, the kmh equivalent to that. However, that is quite severe. And those gusts will gradually move northwards to cover the east and south this evening. So strong winds in the east and south, hence the yellow warning in force. Into tomorrow, we see a core of very strong winds hitting the west and into the south of the country tomorrow, hence the widespread yellow warning, and we actually see the swathe of strong winds extending across the country into the evening. And by Thursday, we see an ease in the winds, but we go into Friday, a bit of a windy spell for the south, but that will clear off, and the weekend looks quite decent for Saturday, but windier on Sunday. Anyway, I'll go back to the satellite image for now. This is just 1 minute before noon. That's when I'm recording this at this stage. So we can see Ireland is covered by cloud. The only exception could possibly be the far northeast of Ulster. However, we're just overcast today, and right now it's raining where I am quite nicely. And if I focus to the southwest, you can see this little hook in the cloud. You see it here, this little hook. This is the low pressure center, and the hook really does tell you that it's quite an intense feature, and that will gradually move northeastwards, and that will bring a spell of really quite heavy rain. And if we look at the radar, we can see that Ireland, apart from Northern Ireland and parts of Donegal and parts of Sligo, or I think that maybe a glitch though. It's I think it's a glitch. Anyway, I think that everywhere apart from Ulster and East Leinster, raining right now quite nicely, and it's going to get heavier as we go along. And I will just get the weather outlook charts up for you, because for some reason I forgot to get them up in the process of getting the video done. But here we go. We can now look at these. So let's look at the progress of this rain. So now it's 12:01. So let's start here. We can see very nicely. This is the hook we saw on the satellites. This is the real wad of rain that is with the low, and it's going to be very intense as it pushes northwards across the country there. Some bright colours in there, as well as strong winds, hence the wind warning for the south and east. You can see it scooting up there. Then in the evening, that should be gone by 6 p.m. according to this run. So we do see showers coming in from the west, some heavy possibly. And then as we go into the night, we actually see some of the showers turning wintry. We see the pinks appearing in the showers, and that is quite remarkable for this time of year. And into tomorrow morning, we actually see a band of precipitation that in the South Midlands falls mostly as snow at 6 a.m. I'll be up for that, and I'll be watching. That is quite remarkable. And then it turns to snow over the mountains in the east at 7 a.m. and that clears off before we see the inclusion come through with a few wintry bits of a higher ground, bit of snow. But that will move eastwards as we go through the day, hopefully, and that will clear through. But as this front comes along, this occlusion, we will see winds strengthening, and gusts could reach widely around 90 km/h. So really quite a windy day and cold as well. In case you couldn't tell from the snow chances tomorrow. After that, things quieting down for a time on Wednesday evening into Thursday. Into Thursday, we see a few showers developing, some heavy possible, some heavy ones possible, mainly in the north. Before cloud increases for the south, and we see a band of rain just brushing the south coast overnight to Thursday into Friday. And we go into Friday, and more showers develop, especially in the east and northeast. On Friday, some heavy again. And then we go into Saturday, and we start off drier and brighter with some nice sunshine. But by the end of the day, we see rain coming in from the west, mainly fragmented, but there can be some heavier bursts. And then we go into Sunday, and we see that skies are clearing up somewhat, but mainly slightly still. I'm just going to look at the not the temperatures, the wind gusts, because obviously excuse me, sorry now. Obviously, this is a wind event, so we'll see exactly what it's showing. So going through this afternoon, we can see wind gusts of around 40 miles an hour going into the south, further north around 20 to 30. So a very windy day across the country to say, but we see this swathe of wind gusts around 60 miles an hour, just moving slightly into the south and southeast as we go into the evening. So that will bring some really strong winds into the south today, with that hook of rain, and that is what will bring the impacts, as I said. And as we go into tonight, we see the winds easing somewhat to around 30 miles an hour in terms of gusts, by the way, not sustained wind speeds. And then we go into tomorrow, Wednesday, and we see a core of very strong winds to around 17 miles an hour pushing into the west coast. We're actually quite surprised that this hasn't been given an orange weather warning, because I think that is worthy of an orange warning for the west and northwest tomorrow morning. And then that goes across the country. So widespread gusts, even inland tomorrow afternoon, of 50-60 miles an hour. Very strong winds, and with that rain, it'll be absolutely treacherous out there tomorrow afternoon. And then those winds slowly ease off tomorrow night, with winds dropping down to around wind gusts to around 20 miles an hour in the north and 10 miles an hour further south. Now, I'll just whiz through the charts on the weather outlook. Sorry, on weathercentral.d. I'll just whiz through them for about 5 minutes. So I'm going to skim through the very violent weather we're seeing right now. You can see that very deep low pressure right over us, tight isobars, strong winds, heavy rain, bit of snow. I'm moving to Friday, more low pressure. But I'm going to focus on the chances of warmer and dry weather into next week. So you see on Sunday, high pressure is building up from the south, trying to anyway, and it actually is succeeding. Some rain in the northwest on Sunday, but other areas just dry and mainly cloudy and mild. And as we go into Tuesday and Wednesday, we can see that winds push into the southeast, bringing in warmer weather. Probably some quite nice weather actually. Hopefully with sunshine. And at the end of the GFS run, we try to go a bit cooler and wetter, as I said. Now look at the ECM run. I'm just going to skim through this. So we know it's going to be very unsettled into tomorrow and Thursday. More low pressure off the Atlantic, so on. Then we see the high pressure building up into Monday and into Tuesday, and we're bringing in easterly winds. Now this easterly won't be cold easterly, as it's April, so we see temperatures around 2 degrees at 850 HPA, but it may feel a bit raw. Let's say around average with temperatures, I'd say, with that easterly wind. Quite a bit of cloud, possibly. Unfortunately, I can't see cloud cover with this, but I presume that could be quite cloudy with winds coming in from quite far east. And then low pressure moves in from the southwest, bringing in rain. In Ireland, we always end up with rain at some stage. We can't stay with high pressure forever. Then this is a GEM, so we know it's going to be very, very unsettled over the next few days. But things should dry and warm up into next week with high pressure to the south, and this goes really quite warm actually, with a 10 Celsius ice storm pushing up from the south. Temperatures could reach the high teens, or even 20 Celsius with this sort of pattern. Really warm indeed. UK Met run, it's just updated, but that's new update, so I wouldn't go back. Sorry, it's new update that is only just updating, so it's going to take a while to get to full time frame of the model. Unsettled over the next few days. Same thing from this run. We see high pressure building into the east. Icon, and then we'll finish with the arpege. I'm going to skim through this run. Unfortunately, I'm going to use this run instead, because this is a longer time frame, so you can see the high pressure building in from the east. Possibly slightly cooler with this run, I don't know. Just put the temperatures on. Yeah, it's a bit cooler with this run, with a 0 Celsius ice storm coming from the east. So that's stats. And the arpege run, we can see I don't think we can reach the time frame where the high pressure comes in. Nah, we don't. So anyway, that's it for today's video. Stay safe in the stormy winds tonight into tomorrow, and the rain as well. Next week is looking dry and warmer, as I said. So hopefully that may dry things out a bit and warm things up a bit. Yeah. So that's something to look forward to if you don't like what we're seeing now. I myself actually quite like it. It's nice, sort of. The garden needs watering anyway. Anyway, thanks for watching. I may see you later on with another update just to track the progress of the storm. But for now, we're done, and stay safe. Bye for now.